Good morning, people. It is Wednesday, and as you can see, I'm out here fiddling with the Comanche. Thought I would show you all a little bit what's going on and answer a few questions. Oh, I'm trying to get my gloves off. See? Don't you like it? Like my electrical tape patches on my gloves? These things are expensive. I mean, $10, but man, that's expensive to me. So anyway, here's what I'm doing. I've been using my Harbor Freight welder. I'm getting a little bit better at the welds. What's going on here is, if you remember, this is the piece of rust that was in this bedside. And I'm going back and taking little slivers of metal and tacking it in, trying to rebuild this contour. Okay, it's not beautiful. I'm adding spot welds and I'm going back and grinding it, trying to get a little bit smooth. Going back and adding a few more spot welds just to add the metal back. Now, when I'm going to try to do about 10 more welds in this whole piece, I mean, it's in there. I'm going to go back and cut a piece of metal and try to fit this line as best as I can. Tack it up here, and I'm going to tack it down here. That will give me my basic bed shape. And then I'm going to go back with my fiber strand, this stuff right here, skim coat it. I'll probably start it about down here someplace, or maybe up here, and slowly and gradually add more filler across here and bring it back down. That way it kind of blends all together. Of course, it will be hidden by the fender flares, the factory Jeep fender flares, but still, I want to try to make it as unnoticeable as possible once it gets painted. You know, then I'm gonna go back, sand it down, get it smooth, and get it to look like this right here, and it'd be all nice, hopefully somewhat pretty, but it will be better than what it was. This is just time consuming, trying to adjust my wire speed to the proper speed, that way it doesn't feed too fast and cause issues. And you know, it's a learning curve. I'm trying to figure it out. Of course, now I'm going to say this is probably a little bit harder than if I had a welder that was running argon CO2, but it is what it is, and it's working. You know, I don't have any problems with this little welder. I don't have anything bad to say about it because it works. You know, you can see it. You know, it's not beautiful, but it's getting the job done. So, you all also seen me post on the community page where I just got a little antsy and wanted to paint something. And I only had a little bit of paint, and I was just dying to see how it would match up to the factory red paint and how it would lay down. There's a little bit of orange peel up here, but I expected that because that's, you know, where the end of my spray line was. Now the rest of it turned out pretty nice. I'm really pleased with it. I mean, out of a rattle can, shoot. And what you notice right here, this is the factory red paint. This is not spray can. Now you can't really tell the difference in the color. I really can't. After the shadows hit it and the differences in the light, I can't tell not one difference between the Colonial Red from Rust-Oleum and the factory red Jeep paint. I must say, you ain't getting no closer. But yeah, I'm definitely impressed with Rust-Oleum. I mean, it lays down good. As long as you honestly do light coats, multiple light coats, man. And if you take the time to prep the surface and get the dirt off of it and all that fun stuff, it's just got an exceptional quality. A lot better than Duplicolor. Duplicolor, man, you guys ain't got nothing on Rust-Oleum. And you can see here I was piddling. All I was doing here is because this is a primer and paint in one. I wanted to paint my bare metal just to keep it from rusting or getting a flash on it. So you can see here's another repair. You know, I'm just doing the best I can. Now I did go ahead and wet sand the majority of this bedside with 600 grit. Got it nice and smooth. I think that fender's ready. I'm not even gonna worry about trying to fix this little dent because it's gonna be behind the fender flare. Got the door sanded. I'll show you all. Look, there's tan interior in the Jeep. I know a lot of you guys seen the pictures I posted on the community. I really like the YouTube community page. That's pretty cool. I'm starting to get to the point where I use that more on Facebook. But you can see, door panel. This isn't going to be the door panel that stays. As you can see right here, this is a base model door panel, but he gave me armrest for a upper model. You can see the little hole and how it doesn't match the imprint for the door handle. But anyway, it's not perfect because I'm eventually going to go back and re-vinyl dye this stuff anyway, because it's got some embedded dirt and stuff in it. But I got the seat in it. The seat's not, the foam's not secure because I don't have the cover on it, but you know, I've got a few of the gray or the tan interior pieces. The seat's really comfortable. It's coming along, so I'm definitely excited about it. I'm still debating on if I'm going to take this rear window out. You see here, something's not sitting right. I might take that out and see what's going on, see if there's any rust issues in this window channel where the window frame sits. Take care of that rust and put it back in. Shouldn't be a big deal at all. That's about it since the last video. I've not really done a whole lot more. Well, look, there's a dog. Jamie's helping me. I got to keep an eye out for her because she likes to sneak around and watch what I'm doing, and I don't want her to get any like flash burns. That would be totally terrible. So something else I want to show you guys. Ta-da! This is that 3-ton AC unit that my neighbor dropped off. It worked about 3 years ago. It's been sitting in his barn, and it worked just fine. He just wanted to upgrade to something newer, so he gave this to me. So plans for it, let's see. I do plan on utilizing it, but I'm not going to mess with it this year at all. I probably won't even think about it until next spring, because I'm going to have to come up with a duct system. It takes 2 big pieces of duct work that connects back here, and I'll have to make something work to run underneath the trailer. I could use my original duct work, but it's dirty. It's got a lot of animal funk in it from the 18 years that the trailer sat, and I don't know if I'm going to use that or take it down and just run a bunch of flex duct. So, what are you doing? Are you digging? Find you a cool spot? Huh? You like laying in topsoil? You like laying in topsoil? Can't wait to get you a bath. I'm still digging concrete footers. I dug another one, but I ain't gonna crawl up in or anything or show you guys. Just doing a few small things at a time. It's a lot of you guys ask, am I gonna get back to working on a trailer? Well, yeah, of course, but trailer working takes money, and so does Jeep working. But right now, ooh, well, the mask flashed me from the sun. The Jeep is kind of high priority right now because I'm running out of good weather. Next thing you know, it's gonna go from fall, if you call it this fall, to code, and I won't be able to do any body work on the Jeep because it'll just be too cold. So I'm trying to get this done. I would like to make this thing drivable before it gets cold, because I'm getting tired of driving that, even though I'm greatly appreciative that my buddy is allowing me to drive that as much as I want. Yeah, I just miss having something I can haul stuff in and kind of beat up. I feel bad for driving the wheels off it as it is. So rest of the day, I'm going to finish this out. I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting the rockers completely out where this body line is. This bend in the middle, I'm cutting it right here, cutting all the rockers on both sides out. I'm going to grind that down, primer it, get it ready for whatever I plan on doing with it. And then after that, I'm going to try to find my 5-ton jacks. I'm going to jack this thing up, get it level, and pop all the wheels and tires off of it and start inspecting and going through the brakes. I need to check the ball joints, odd and other stuff. So also the factory inner fender wheels are brittle and they've broken off. I need to get all that out and get ready for some new inner fenders. And just the list just goes on and on. So that's what I got going on for the day. So here I am with my 7 different little pieces of metal that I have spot welded together, trying to build somewhat of a contour like this, build this lip and then build this back. So I know it's horrible, but it's holding. And I'm gonna go back with a grinder, grind all this down that I can, and then I'm gonna come back over it with some of my fiber strand and start making it look nice. All this is gonna be basically under the fender skirt, except for the very top of it, but yeah, you won't even know it was there, which would be good. So let me get to grinding. Now that I've went back with my grinder, I've knocked down a lot of the edges and I knocked down all the high spots of the spot welds. That should give me enough clearance to where I can go back to my fiber strand and give this a nice coat and start to sand it and shape it. Another thing I forgot to do before I start putting down the fiber strand is I want to make sure I remove the paint from way up in here and down on the sides. That way it gives it a good surface to adhere to. Now when I keep talking about fiber strand, I know that might confuse some of y'all. All it is this stuff called Bondo glass. You know, some people call it kitty hair, fiber strand, or whatever. All it is basically, it's kind of like Bondo with fiberglass hairs in it. Makes it really strong. You can get this stuff at any AutoZone, at O'Reilly's, or basically any parts store will have this stuff. And it comes with a hardener. And if you make a pile that big, you can see that's the size of the tube. All I do is I usually take a line of hardener about 3/4 the width of my puddle and mix it up really good. And it gives me a decent amount of time to stir it and to apply it before it starts to kick off. Now it's been about 10 minutes and the Bondo is still kind of tacky. It's still soft and very pliable. So what I'm doing while it's still, like I said, tacky, I'm going back with like a 60 grit sandpaper and removing all of it that I can, because I'm basically trying to shape it at this point, and I want to shape it before the body filler gets rock hard. Because once this stuff gets hard, you sand your butt off. I mean, it's difficult to really remove it. It takes a lot of time. So right now I'm just basically trying to, you know, get a rough shape. And then once I sand this a little bit more, I'll go back with a second coat of fiber strand and finish, you know, like filling in my lows, little holes that I have, and then shape some more. And the sanding first coat of fiber strand is done. You can see I'm trying to keep the shape kind of like here. You know, it's not going to be perfect. This edge isn't going to be out as far as the factory edge, but I'm going to try to do my best to kind of sculpt it. This is the part where I'm going to try to focus a lot of the time, get this good and filled in, have it come out, and try to blend it the best I can. So, you know, this all blends into the bedside. So, got to mix up another little batch of stuff now. So, I've been doing some sanding on the second coat, slowly getting it to where I want it to be. But like I said, this down here is still not necessarily that pretty, but I'm not really worried about that. I'm trying to get the basic shape with the fiber strand. And then I'm going to come back with a regular, I'm just going to say Bondo for a generic term. As you can see, it's getting there. And if I put the factory fender extension up, you can see how it's going to look perfectly fine. Once I, you know, skim coat it and do another round of sanding, maybe 2 rounds of sanding, I think this repair is going to be finished. Okay, it's Friday evening, about 5:30, I think. 6. I think I finally got the driver's side bedside finished. You know, I've went over it with the fiber strand, and then I went with a lighter filler, try to smooth it all out. Got the lower rocker down here. I'm not really worried about the top part of the bed because that's going to get like a wrapper liner or something. It's not perfect. You know, I still got some divots in the body filler, like right here, but all that's going to be covered by the fender flare and all that stuff. Like I said, I'm not trying to make a show truck. I'm just trying to make a good little pick 'em up truck, and I think that will be fine. While I still have some daylight, I'm going to try to primer this side of the bed and call this side finished. So let me get to that. Well guys, I have got the majority of the body work done on this side of the bed. As you can see, I primered it. I don't think it looks half bad. Like, you know, like I said, it's not going to be a show truck. It's a pick 'em up truck. You know, I'm sure my body lines are a little out here. I had a little water come down on my primer when I was still wet. No big deal. Like I said, you can still see a little issues around here. Like I got that little air hole that was in my filler. Don't care. I still got this little dent right here that I didn't. Well, I actually forgot to go back and fill it in a little bit, but I can do that later. I just want to get this side primered and count it basically finished. And then I'm going to start tomorrow morning on the passenger side of the bed and start patching that hole and doing all the filler and everything like this. So hopefully, maybe, I don't know, maybe sometime Sunday I can have the passenger side of the bed look like this side. So it's coming along. I think that's it for this video, guys. Like and subscribe. Check out my links below. I'll see you all later.